do is to compress the second day of trash from 3 or 4 days to 5 days and 2 days. So what's going to happen is that second day, the second time rather, which is a 2-day trash, is going to start to border on a meaningless collection. It's going to be very, very small amount of trash. Most people are going to have most of their trash on the 5-day cycle. So I think what it's going to do is start to show us that having the single day trash pickup, like I've been suggesting for the last year or two, is going to be something that we should look into further, that we'll see that it actually is a workable solution. One of the ideas I would like you to consider is having the yard waste on Monday, like we are, having a recycle for everybody on Friday, and then having 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for a single trash pickup. Divide the town into 3 wards each day or some such type of thing, so that you can pick up the volume of trash that has to be picked up, but do it once a week. And I think that we'll end up saving quite a bit of money from that. The second thing I'd like to ask you to consider again is the payment in lieu of taxes, which is commonly called a pilot program. I've asked for this for you to consider it for the last year or so. That would help us balance our budget a little bit better. And you'll probably have noticed that Radnor Township, the commissioners now, have seriously asked the local colleges and universities to consider contributing to this program. Now, it's something as a nonprofit that we can't make them do, but you'll see that other towns are starting to do this. We have a college here. We have a YMCA that's like a luxury health club. These nonprofits, even though they're technically nonprofits, do make quite a bit of money, and there's no reason why we shouldn't ask them for payments in lieu of taxes, again called a pilot. And I'd like to ask that you ask Mr. Gentili to talk to Radnor, or that Mr. Oliva talk to them, find out what they're doing, what stage they're at. And you can check some of the papers and you'll see some of the media coverage on it too. So I'd like you to consider that program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lynn Elliott?
Hi, everyone. Lynn Elliott, 704 Polo Road. And I'm here because I understand that our Delaware County judge upheld the Township Board of Commissioners' appeal of the sign issue on Haverford Road, the variance request. And number one, we're thrilled as a neighborhood that the judge upheld it. We are really thankful to the Board of Commissioners for having done the appeal to begin with. It was a wonderful thing to do and really important for the neighborhood. And I just wanted to reiterate to everybody how important it is to what is a residential neighborhood that is cheek by jowl with a professional office building that is not supposed to be commercial at all, and that professional office building is on the other side, cheek by jowl with 6 other professional office buildings. And it's really important for the neighborhood to draw the line at this building and say no multiple signs, no larger than our ordinance states, because once this building gets that, what are the odds that every single other building is going to ask for the exact same thing? So I really ask everybody to make sure that we do hold the line on that, and that we uphold this judge's ruling and uphold the township's ordinance, and we don't allow these extra signs. And I think people think that, oh, it's just a sign. It's not a big deal. Signs really do matter. That's why the township is fighting billboards everywhere. It's a traffic safety issue. It's an aesthetic issue. Signs really do matter. And a professional, low-key office zone, they're zoned for one small sign. 15 square feet, that's it. Not multiple signs, not larger signs. And I really ask you all to just hold that line. One building, one sign within the ordinance. And the homeowners really appreciate everything you're doing with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. David Channon? I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
David Shannon, 748 Rugby Road. I really can only second what Lynn said. First of all, I want to thank the commissioners for taking the action against the zoning hearing board and Premier and Mainline Health. I know that was not a standard thing or something the commissioners welcome doing, but it was a courageous step, and because the variance granted by the zoning hearing board was so far outside the pale, that action was necessary. And the neighbors really appreciated it, and congratulations on your victory. And congratulations to Mr. Burns' firm on the excellent job they did. I've spoken with Nancy Wegman, who's the chair of the Brentford Civic Association. She could not make it tonight, but she also expresses the same feelings and strongly supports staying the course and not sees no basis for any compromise. I see no basis, and I think Nancy agrees, for any further compromise. The variance should not have been granted. The Court of Common Pleas came to that conclusion as well, and that should be the end of it. I would say the zoning hearing board should be encouraged not to incur further legal fees for the township by continuing to pursue what at this point seems like a frivolous pursuit. So thank you for taking the stand. I drove down Haverford Road Saturday night. It was dark. As I came along, it struck me that as I passed Mainline Health, the sign that is right at the road and brightly lit with the number and the Premier Orthopedics prominently displayed. My glasses need a new prescription, but it was very prominent and clear, and the advertising is certainly adequate, and there's really no basis whatsoever for that variance. So thank you again, and stay the course.
All right. I guess you answered the Nancy Wegman question. She won't be here tonight. She's on the list, so. Okay. And Diane Dentlaw? Drentlaw. She's not here. Okay. Now we have 20 minutes on agenda items. Anybody on the left here would like to speak about anything on the agenda? Anyone? On the right? Anyone? There being none, we'll go into answering some questions here. Larry, you want to talk about?
Oh, sure. Mr. Hestan, thank you for coming out. What I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ask Mr. Pannoni, our township engineer, and our deputy codes director, Mr. Celia, to actually go out and investigate and come back and report back to me and this board. So they'll have an answer for us at the next commissioners meeting. If I have it sooner, I'll try to get back to you with some of the information. Rather than them and us talking about it, it'd be better if I get them to go out and come back with a good assessment. Okay. So thank you.
All right.
And you want to talk to Mr.
Yeah, let's talk
Bogosian?
about Gary's.
Mr. Bogosian, thank you, and I agree. And change is difficult, as you all, but we implemented an awful lot of change in the last 5 to 6 years in the town that's helped us save money, and I think that we're off to a good start. One of the biggest reasons and goals for us to make this change is to reduce the trash stream. We pay an awful lot of money. We've been pretty successful. The disappointing thing is yard waste has been going up. Our trash stream is going up, the weight, because residents are not participating in the as well as they should be, the yard waste, as well as recycling, which is even more disappointing. And we're seeing that again because we're paying more in the trash stream. So we're hoping that, and we think it will, make a big difference. And if our focus is good and we go in the right direction, then we will be reducing to probably a one-day-a-week trash. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable in doing it in 3 days, because one of the big challenges that we as a big employer of the town with healthcare reform, we recently had to reduce our, effective in July, our workforce, all the part-time employees, by 5 hours a week. By 64, it's over 16,000 hours of less productivity we're going to get, and it's got to be made up from somewhere. So one of the goals I'm going to try to do is to be able to go to 1 day one day a week, but getting the trucks off the road, reducing our gas, but I agree with you, so thank you. With regards to the pilot program, I'm going to work at the direction of the board. If they allow me, I will do some research. I'll work with Mrs. Cuthbertson, and we'll report back to the board with some recommendations, so I agree. Thank you.
All right. And on the last issue, that's a pending legal issue, so we will not be, or not allowed to speak about that pending legal issue. But thank you all for coming out. We appreciate your input. All right. And then the approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner D'Amelio.
give me a second, I was just there. I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of April the 15th, 2014.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
I'm sorry, I apologize. Who seconded that? Chris Connors.
Chris Connell.
Board number 5.
Please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio.
Yes.
Mrs. Hall.
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
Yes.
Mr. Holmes.
Step down a moment.
Mr. McGarity.
No.
Mr. Connell.
Approve the minutes?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler.
Yes.
Mr. Heilman.
Yes.
And Mr. Oliva.
Yes. All right. Approval of warrants.
It's normally Larry, but he's stepped out. Anybody want to?
Dan, would you like to take it?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Mr. President, motion to approve the following warrant, number 5-2014, totaling $3,020,474.80. The General and Sewer Fund payroll for April 10, 2014, in the amount of $617,109.60. The General and Sewer Fund payroll for April 24, 2014, in the amount of $630,739.51. General Fund disbursements, number 5-2014, in the amount of $1,289,518.91. Sewer Fund disbursements, number 5-2014, in the amount of $148,306.57. Community Development Block Grant Fund disbursement, number 5-2014, in the amount of $62,540.35. The Capital Projects Fund disbursement, number 5-2014, in the amount of $267,196.32. And the credit card statement ending April 28, 2014, in the amount of $5,063.54.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio.
Yes.
Mrs. Hall.
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
Yes.
Mr. Holmes still not here. Mr. McGarity.
No.
Mr. Connell.
Yes.
Mr. Wexler.
Yes.
Mr. Heilman.
Yes.
And Mr. Oliva.
Yes. Number 7, Commissioner Siegel.
Mr. President, motion to adopt ordinance number P3-2014, further amending Chapter 149 Sewage and Drainage Facilities to remove and amend language relating to the billing of the sanitary sewer rent.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? There being none, please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio.
Yes.
Mrs. Hall.
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
Yes.
Mr. McGarity.
Yes.
Mr. Connell.
Yes.
Mr. Wexler.
Yes.
Mr. Heilman.
Yes.
Mr. Oliva.
Yes. Number 8.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number P4, 2014, further amending Chapter 95, Garbage, Refuse, and Rubbish, to remove and amend language relating to the billing of the annual trash collection fee.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll.
D'Amelio.
Yes.
Mrs. Hall.
Yes.
Mr. Siegel.
Yes.
Mr. McGarity.
Yes.
Mr. Connell.
Yes.
Mr. Wexler.
Yes.
Mr. Heilman.
Yes.
And Mr. Oliva.
Yes. Number 9, Commissioner Wexler.
Motion to adopt the ordinance P5, 2014, establishing and or removing traffic restrictions on the following highways. Parking time limited 2 hours. On the north side from Vernon Road to a point 15 feet east of the northwest corner of Westchester Pike and Gilmore Road by exempting the residents of the 300 block of Westchester Pike from the 2-hour parking restriction. sticker parking only, on Vernon Road from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mrs. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes still on there? Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Heilman?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes. Number 10, resolution number 1936, 2014.
Mr. President, motion to adopt resolution number 1936, 2014, approving final allocations of funds for the 40th year Community Development Program. No changes are made to the citizen participation plan, and that the proper officers are hereby authorized to take such steps as may be necessary to implement the intent of this resolution.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mrs. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Abstain.
Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Heilman?
Yes.
And Mr. Oliva?
Yes. Number 11, resolution number 1937, 2017. That should be 2014, I believe. Maybe that's a typo,
Yeah.
unless we're 3 years out or something. Okay. All right, it's 2014. Commissioner D'Amelio, want to read this?
Motion to adopt resolution number 1937-2014 by establishing and amending the fee schedule for services.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Can we just
Yeah, sure.
give an update on this?
This is the fee schedule that we got
Yeah.
from last month. We had it.
I think it was just housekeeping.
It was.
Only things
it
that I
was just
saw
a
in
couple
there
of-
was a permit for a fee for outdoor dining.
Right.
That was the housekeeping.
And a change to a second HVAC permit.
Yeah.
That's
That
all
was it.
that's listed, yeah.
It was in there.
Okay.
Anytime we have a change, we actually have to amend the fee schedule.
Fee schedule for what? For
Outdoor dining
the
permits.
dining.
Permits and everything.
Okay. Call.
Do we, wait a minute, did we raise the fee schedule on?
We raised the fee, I
We
believe.
raised the fee.
Did we, or did we?
No, I don't read it that way. The dining would look like it was added.
It was left off, I think.
Yeah, so it was added to this, and the
Yeah.
HVAC, and they changed it from each additional item of $10 to per $1,000 of cost.
Okay, so you
Came
just
with
changed it.
recommendations from Mrs. Widow.
Right.
And that's the only changes that I see.
That satisfy you, Commissioner D'Amelio?
I'm not sure.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Please
Mr.
call the roll.
D'Amelio?
Abstain.
Mrs. Hall?
Yes.
And Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes still out. Mr. McGarity?
No.
Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Heilman?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes. You'd like to read number 12?
Yes.
Commissioner Holland?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 1938-2014, approving the minor subdivision plan for Rayer Builders for the property located at 2415 Bryn Mawr Avenue, known as DC Folio number 22-06-00449-00, has been submitted to permit the subdivision of the 12,500 square foot lot into two 6,250 square foot lots. The subject property is in R4 Residential District and is located in the 6th Ward. The aforesaid plans were prepared by Catania Engineering Incorporated, dated March 24, 2014, subject to the recommendations of the Planning Commission.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
I'm just curious, was there any position taken by the Commissioner of the Ward on this particular item?
I didn't hear anything.
I-
I guess we
can't
got a
answer that.
problem because he's not here, right?
Never takes a position on any of those matters.
He took no position, okay.
He never
thank you.
does,
Okay.
to avoid
Well, he's not
a
here, so we
conflict.
can't speak for him, but
But I know it's his
usually he
policy
takes
never
no.
to.
Okay, I got the answer, thank you.
Please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mrs. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Well, Ray Brothers are good builders, so I'll vote yes.
Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Heilman?
Yes.
And Mr. Oliva?
Yes. Number 13, Commissioner Holman, not Commissioner Holman, Commissioner Holmes, would you like to read that, please?
Yes, please. Mr. President, I move that we adopt resolution number 1939 of 2014. It's a minor subdivision of 2601 Chestnut Avenue. Specifically, it is a minor subdivision plan for Falcone Signature Homes for the property located at 2601 Chestnut Avenue, Ardmore, Pennsylvania, 19003, known as DC Folio number 22-06-005400. I'm sorry, 54100, which has been submitted to permit the subdivision of an 18,000 square foot parcel into 3 lots. The resultant lot areas are as follows. Lot number 1, 5,622 square feet. Lot number 2, 6,090 square feet. Lot number 3, 6,300 square feet. Subject properties are zoned R6 Residential District and located in the 6th Ward. The plans have been prepared by Herbert McCombie Jr., PE Consulting Engineers and Surveyors, Inc. of Broomall, Pennsylvania, dated March 3rd, 2014, and subject to the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Second.
Mr. President, as I understand, this subdivision plan has been published to the neighboring residents. No objections of any significance have been brought to my attention. I'd leave it to Mr. Gentili or our solicitor or our zoning officer to inform me otherwise, and I do recommend that the resolution be adopted.
Okay.
I have 2 questions, Mario. Number 1, I believe this property is at the corner of Chestnut Avenue and Lorraine. Is that
That's
correct?
correct.
That's right.
It's been vacant for several years. Is that correct?
Forever.
It has. I think it's
Have
been
you taken a
vacant
position on this,
forever.
Larry?
Well, as you know, I don't take positions on these things, but I am not aware of any objections that have been raised, and the people proposing this plan have made me aware of it and made the neighbors aware of it for a long time.
No, I know the Falcones, and I know they're good builders, so I was just curious. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I think this property was. This property is directly, I think, behind Joyce's Hair Salon and what used to be the Bulldog Cafe, and it will be the single lot, and the two twins will be, frankly, consistent with the neighborhood right there. It's a neighborhood of mixed single homes as well as attached twins, and again, I recommend its approval.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, could you please call the roll?
Certainly. Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mrs. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes, on Mr. Falcone.
Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Heilman?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes. Contract awards, Commissioner Harmon.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to award the shop air package for vehicle maintenance facility contract to Kraft Oil Corporation, 1100 North Commerce Drive, Aston, PA, 19014, in the amount of $20,300, submitting the lowest responsible bid.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mrs. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Heilman?
Yes.
And Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to award the shop air package for vehicle maintenance facility contract to Kraft Oil Corporation, 1100 North Commerce Drive, Aston, PA, 19014, in the amount of $25,800, submitting the lowest responsible bid.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any
Uh,
discussion?
Mr. Gentili, can you tell me what a multi-fuel waste oil furnace heat system is? Please.
And I'll have Mr. Celia give a little bit more of the technical details, but I believe it's a system that actually will heat the building through our waste oil. So any of the oils that we get from our equipment, that's what's going to be used to heat the building. will also have radiant heat, so it'll be, correct?
That's exactly right.
Want to stand up for Joe? Did I miss anything, Joe?
Now, what we're doing now is the waste oil we collect from the trucks, when we change the oil, we will use